First Lady Melania Trump is putting Hunter Biden on $1 billion notice over what she claims are false and defamatory statements made about her. Attorneys for the First Lady demanding he retract the content and issue an apology or face legal action. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joining us. So the First Lady taking action following comments Biden made during a recent interview. Share his comments, and also, has he responded to these demands?
So during a recent interview, Biden suggested Jeffrey Epstein first introduced Melania to President Trump. Comments the First Lady says are, quote, disparaging and inflammatory. She's now demanding an apology and that the video be taken down. As for whether or not Biden will apologize, he answered that question using two words.
That's not going to happen.
Released Thursday, Biden sat back down with YouTuber Andrew Callaghan, doubling down on these allegations he made earlier this month, linking the First Lady to Epstein.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep.
Melania now firing back, threatening a $1 billion defamation lawsuit if the content isn't removed. Her attorney sending Biden this letter demanding he, quote, immediately retract the false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory statements. President Trump addressing the suit on Fox News Radio Thursday morning.
Well, I said go forward. You know, I've done pretty well on these lawsuits lately, and I said go forward with it. Jeffrey Epstein had nothing to do with Melania.
Melania's office has made similar threats to other media outlets and figures. The Daily Beast taking down an article after author Michael Wolff, who Biden also cited, alleged a modeling agent connected to Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The letter to Biden even referencing Wolff. Her attorney's writing, the source of your false statements is serial fabulist Michael Wolff, whose lies were published by the Daily Beast. Democratic strategist James Carville also taking down an episode of his podcast and apologizing after speculating there was an Epstein connection involving Melania.
We took down a video and edited out those comments from the episode. I also take back these statements and apologize.
As for whether or not Biden will apologize, he answered that question, or rather, as for where the threatened lawsuit actually stands tonight, spokesperson for the First Lady telling ABC News her attorneys are now actively ensuring retractions and apologies are made by those who are spreading these lies. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
First Lady Melania Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages and an apology from Hunter Biden. It stems from comments Hunter made alleging Jeffrey Epstein was the person who introduced the First Lady and the president. A letter dated August 6, written by an attorney for Melania, called the accusations false, disparaging, defamatory, and extremely salacious. The comments by Hunter were made during an interview with journalist Andrew Callaghan and posted on YouTube last month. Callaghan posted another clip of an interview with Hunter today in response to Melania's demands. Asked if he would apologize, Hunter used an expletive to emphatically refuse. The saga of Jeffrey Epstein has roiled Washington in recent months after the Justice Department released a statement refuting prominent conspiracies about the case, including the cause of Epstein's death behind bars and an alleged client list of high-profile individuals involved in child sex trafficking. Epstein was known to associate with high-powered politicians, celebrities, and business figures, including President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and Britain's Prince Andrew.
Now we're here.
New this morning, the First Lady is demanding an apology from Hunter Biden and threatening a lawsuit over comments he made about her relationship with the president. The National News Desk's Matt Galka is live in Washington with the details for us right now, and this $1 billion lawsuit potentially.
Yeah, pretty expensive here. Melania Trump wants a retraction and an apology from Hunter Biden over comments her lawyers have called false, defamatory, disparaging, inflammatory, along with extremely salacious. Biden gave a wide-ranging interview with YouTube journalist Andrew Callaghan in which he said that accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump. He partly attributed that claim to author Michael Wolff. The First Lady's legal team has, as you mentioned, threatened a lawsuit of $1 billion. The president and First Lady have said they were introduced to each other by a modeling agent during New York Fashion Week in 1998. Other outlets, including the Daily Beast and political commentator James Carville, have already retracted similar claims and issued apologies. This threat isn't coming very cheap. a $1 billion lawsuit and legal action if that apology and retraction doesn't come soon. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka for the National News Desk, America's News Now.
democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. As the National Guard
Hunter Biden is publicly responding to Melania Trump's threat to sue him for more than $1 billion if he does not apologize for claiming she had ties to convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Fox News reported that a lawyer for the First Lady sent Biden a letter with the deadline of August 7th to retract his statements. The letter calls Biden's comments false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory, and says the president's wife may have suffered, quote, overwhelming financial and reputational harm. But almost a week after that deadline, in an interview with YouTube personality Andrew Callahan, Hunter Biden issued this response.
So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
That's not going to happen.
Instead, he doubled down on his remarks, contending that Melania Trump does not have a case against him.
If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the First Lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
Biden's response stems from a YouTube video earlier this month titled Hunter Biden Returns. In that interview, he made these claims.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Journalist Michael Wolff was granted access to the White House during Donald Trump's first term. He has written 4 books about Trump and made similar allegations in the Daily Beast podcast late last month. The site later retracted an article repeating Wolff's claims and issued an apology after being contacted by Melania Trump's lawyers. For more unbiased updates, download the Straight Arrow News app or go to SAN.com.
One more thing.
Joaquin was interesting.
Hi, I'm
Our next.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released? I don't know. I think John, that thing that John Howland says is like a long time ago. I think is the most accurate kind of assessment of them, which is everything is projection or confession. Everything. So when he puts out that tweet and he says, Epstein now is the Russia hoax or the Hunter Biden laptop.
The laptop from hell, which the Democrats swore came from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom.
Like, I wonder if it works.
Good morning. This is Morning Sky. I'm your host, Sky. And as you just seen, for the past going on 14 minutes, we've heard from Mr. Hunter Biden. First Lady Melania Trump is still very staunch. It was what was that, 8 days ago? When it was August 7th, they were talking about, if he doesn't comply, she's going to go forward with legal action, including $1 billion suit against Mr. Hunter Biden. I don't know why I'm calling Mr. We're fellow Delawareans. I don't know. It's like, that's what you have to put out. You have to put out his dad, Aubrey Plaza, and him as the representatives of Delaware. They have lists that, who are the famous Delawareans, in the world and everything like that. Aubrey Plaza usually tops it. I think Hunter Biden's on the list, but way down because he is a crackhead. Let's not get it twisted. He is a crackhead. I like to say, oh, he's a former crackhead. Once a crackhead, always a crackhead. And he admitted it. He's not even. It's on video. Him shooting up to Scotty. He's got the crack pipe. He said he was looking around on the floor. He's probably snorted more Parmesan cheese than anyone else. He was looking for powder all over the place. Has Pusha T had a rhyme about Hunter Biden yet? That'd be interesting to see him have a few lyrics dedicated to Hunter Biden. That would be interesting. That would be that'd be interesting. But no, he says F that. He's staunch. He's standing on his 10 toes down. He's not apologizing. He's not saying anything. He's risking a lot in damage, too much in damages. We're talking about, what is that, 13 figures? Or is that 12 figures? I think it's 12 figures. Hundreds, thousands, millions, billion. Maybe it's 10 figures. I think it's 10 figures. 10 figures. $1 billion she wants in damages, and they're gonna have to sell out of court. That's what's probably going to happen. He's going to give up some money, and she's going to go back to her place, and just the allegations were ridiculous. Saying that the late Epstein introduced Melania to President Trump, not president at the time, of course. Let me say this. Salute to Rick James. He says, put some respect on Sleepy Joe's son's name. Fact. White man in America, but just given the black man's experience. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. He's the man behind the hat, bringing you the latest in urban news, and he's wilding out. He's SK. Okay. So, this is Friday, and I wanted to do a little bit lighter news. I know the most powerful man in the world, President Donald Trump, Melania's husband, his wife, he's negotiating. He's going to be negotiating later on today at the summit with President Putin. But I just thought this story was, such BS. It was just, just on the radar screen that I thought it would be interesting to delve into to really see, the reality of it. And I just thought it would be interesting. I think that, as Delawareans, we get a reputation for being boring. Hunter Biden is anything but boring. He is very, very lit, as you could say. I think he's sober now, but that doesn't mean he's not a crackhead. He's at heart. He's still a crackhead. He's making paintings. He's an artist. They go for $55,000. Some of his artwork. I'm not a fan of his artwork. They're very impressionistic, very abstract. I don't like abstract efforts. I'm not even going to call it art. I'm just going to call it an abstract effort. I like, different things of Vermeer. I like even, Jean-Michel Basquiat. representational. It's representational art. You can see and understand what the art is, even if it's, some people say it's primitive, some people say it's, it's elementary, whatever the case may be. It's still representative, and it has a lot of meaning packed in it. So that's Jean-Michel Basquiat's work. The late great Jean-Michel Basquiat, of course. But he's very interesting. He's very entertaining. He's an entertaining Delawarean. He has gone on the shows and said, about I'm not going to tell you how to make crack cocaine. He doesn't give the process, but he gives the ingredients and the outcome. He's like, yeah, it's just sodium bicarbonate. It's just baking soda and cocaine. You fire it with the thing. What happens with smoking crack is you're burning away the impurities, and you're getting the best part of the cocaine. Like, this nigga was crazy. This nigga was saying this stuff like seriously, like he wasn't playing. Like, at least he's candid about it. He wasn't like, yeah, I smoke crack cocaine. He's like, yeah, I smoke crack cocaine. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? That's that white man. That's that white, just righteous and just, yes, I smoke crack cocaine. What are you gonna do about it? Like, let that be a black man. If that was Obama, if that was, if it was Sasha or Malia, could you imagine? Oh my God, the whole world would probably end. America would fall to pieces. Obama would be nothing. I think Malia got caught smoking weed one time or something like that, and they were like, made that big kerfuffle. They made that big issue. But if she was smoking crack cocaine, could you imagine that? And it gets worse and worse and worse, and he falls down the rabbit hole even further and further. Cougar Cam LLC. I'm not calling him a name. Let's be clear. He is a crackhead. A crackhead is a crackhead. He's not. He didn't even deny it. He said he smoked crack. He smoked crack every 15 minutes at one point. That's a fact. That's not even trying to play him or anything. I'm not trying to even say it. It's just a reality. He's a crackhead. Oh, he's a reformed crackhead. He's a retired crackhead. He's a former crackhead. He's a crackhead. Salute to that crackhead. Delaware, putting Delaware on the map for crack. I know he's been through those Wilmington streets. I know he allegedly. I don't know. I actually don't know if he's been through. But I would presume. I'm not going to assume, but I would presume that he's gone through certain areas of Wilmington, scoring. He had one place when he was in DC. He had I think he had it was in the video, one of the videos, talking about there was a woman named Bicycles. No, that wasn't in this video because that's a private video. That was interesting. He had to remember the name of the woman that sold him crack cocaine in Lincoln Park in DC. But Melania, peace be to Allah for Melania, and to Muhammad the messenger for all his teachings. Oh my God, she just has taken so much BS, and she is, I have to say it. She has been graceful. She has been, accommodating. She has been very forward and open about, her status as first lady again. It's just sad. I mean, I'm sure she knows things that she can't be repeated, but that's just what has to happen. It just has to be repeated. So let me see if I can go see if there's any other videos. I think I exhausted all the videos. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm gonna look up for. Yeah, I think I covered. All right, I didn't cover this one. Hold on, here we go.
That's not going to happen.
Hunter Biden isn't mincing words when it comes to First Lady Melania Trump's bombshell lawsuit threat. Biden refused a reported request from Melania's lawyer that he apologize for claims he repeated about her alleged connection to Jeffrey Epstein, telling YouTube personality Andrew Callahan in a video published August 14th that saying sorry isn't an option for him.
We're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
That. That's not going to happen.
According to a letter from the First Lady's legal counsel obtained by Fox News Digital, her litigation team will seek $1 billion in damages if an earlier interview between Callahan and Biden, in which the former first son alleged that Epstein introduced Melania and her husband, President Donald Trump, isn't taken down, and if Biden refuses to apologize. The letter reportedly blasts Biden's claim as, quote, false, disparaging, defamatory, and inflammatory, noting that the original video and subsequent reposts have made the disputed comments viewable to, quote, tens of millions of people worldwide and caused overwhelming financial and reputational harm to Melania. After brushing off the apology request in his most recent sit-down with Callahan, Biden went on to suggest he'd welcome an opportunity to facilitate an official discussion of the matter.
And I also think they're bullies, and they think that $1 billion is going to scare me, which is the fact of the matter is that if they'd like to go, I have this to say to them. If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the first lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
Access Hollywood has reached out to representatives for the First Lady and an attorney for Biden. As for the president himself, he shared his support for Melania pursuing the lawsuit, saying on Brian Kilmeade's Fox News radio show, "You know, I've done pretty well on these lawsuits lately, and I said go forward. Jeffrey Epstein has nothing to do with Melania and I introducing, but they do that. They make up stories." Melania previously shared in her 2024 memoir that she and Trump met at New York City's Kit Kat Club in 1998. They married 6 years later and went on to welcome son Barron, now a student at NYU.
All right, I'm gonna still be on the lookout for. Let me see if I can get another one. See how many Biden news I can get. Here's another one. Watch the Examiner. Let's go.
Now, we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
That. That's not going to happen.
Hunter Biden is facing legal threats from First Lady Melania Trump after refusing to retract a claim linking her to Jeffrey Epstein. In a recent interview on Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, Biden repeated a false allegation that Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump, a claim originally shared by the Daily Beast. Melania, through her lawyer, demanded an apology and retraction, threatening a $1 billion lawsuit. In a follow-up episode, he doubled down, calling the lawsuit threat a distraction and accusing the Trumps of being bullies.
These threats of a lawsuit are add up to anything other than a design distraction, because it's not about who introduced whom to who. I don't know how that's in any way rises to the level of defamation to begin with.
Biden even challenged them to sit for a deposition to clarify their relationship with Epstein, offering to provide a platform for it.
If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the first lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
The standoff continues with legal action looming.
Our next guest is as bold and brassy as she's brilliant, and frankly, she's got more opinions than your uncle at a wedding after 7 points.
Okay.
Welcome, one and all.
All right, let's see if we can find another Biden.
Hunter Biden may be soon in a litigation with Melania Trump. How's that for a headline? Hunter Biden gave this interview to this Channel 5 YouTuber, and in it, he claimed as follows on August 5th, SOT 8.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. They knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
Or it was July, went on the Daily Beast podcast and said the following, SOT 9.
You know, she was very involved in this Epstein relationship. I mean, there is this model thing, but you know, and Epstein talks about, you know, and she's introduced by a model agent, both of whom Trump and Epstein are involved with. She's introduced to Trump that way. Epstein knows her well. Epstein says the first time Donald Trump and Melania have sex is on his airplane.
So Melania Trump, through her lawyer, wrote Hunter Biden a nastygram, a legal nastygram, that says, I'm going to sue you for $1 billion unless you apologize for that. And it's retracted and removed, and that the error is acknowledged in as public a way as the offense was committed to begin with, saying your source for your false statements was serial fabulist Michael Wolff, whose lies were published by the Daily Beast in an article titled Melania Trump Very Involved in an Epstein Scandal. The Daily Beast, unfortunately for Hunter Biden, issued an apology to Melania Trump and retracted the false and defamatory statements immediately thereafter. That because clearly Melania's people had contacted them too. And so they did pull it, said they were sorry, and issued a retraction because they'd heard from Melania directly it's not true and this is made up, like a lot of things are by Michael Wolff. So now Hunter Biden's twisting in the wind because he's repeated the defamatory statement in a very public way on this YouTube show. And the ball's in his court. Well, he has responded, went back to the same place, and this interview was posted today. It was posted today. And here's what he said in SOT 7.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen. I think they're trying to use other things to distract. And I also think they're bullies, and they think that $1 billion is going to scare me.
Look at him. He's got all the confidence of a man who's been repeatedly protected by law enforcement his entire life. He's like, fuck that. No one can ever get me. I'm Hunter Biden. I get pardoned. I get DOJs running interference for me when the IRS has got me by the balls. I'm good. She can F off. So should she actually go ahead and file her lawsuit? I know I'm not asking you you're not a lawyer, but do you think it would be smart for her to get involved in what will essentially be a political battle as well as a legal one?
Yes. Yes, I will go to your punishment is the process argument from before. Process is the punishment. I do think that it is worth it. I mean, look, you know, nobody wants their name in a headline with Jeffrey Epstein. It's not a good thing. So, I mean, it's a legitimately serious thing when you're taking you're making an argument that I don't even think Michael Wolff actually made, by the way. I mean, Wolff did say, again, Wolff has his own battles with the truth, as has been well covered. But like, even his claim was that they first had sex on the plane. It wasn't even that they were introduced by Epstein. He even said in the podcast, he just said that they were all in a kind of an area where they were all running in those circles with models, and he was introduced to Melania through a modeling agency. So it's not even clear that Hunter Biden's claim was accurate, even to what Michael Wolff said. Beyond that, it was broadcast on the Daily Beast. The fact that they retracted and apologized for something is maybe the biggest part of the story. Those people have absolutely no standards at all. I don't know that they've ever cared about a journalistic standard in their entire life. They must be scared of that lawsuit. I'll tell you that.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing to watch, and to watch Hunter Biden come out. You're right. He's an entitled person. He believes he's going to be. I mean, look, he was actually pardoned by the president of the United States. He has some reason to believe he's going to survive every single thing that comes his way. But
can't be pardoned for future crimes.
Exactly. Not pardoned for future crimes and not pardoned for civil lawsuits. There's all sorts of ways that this could wind up burning him. And I think what's central to the Hunter Biden thing. Look, Hunter Biden's gone through some tough years. Okay, we all kind of are aware of this. The past 10 to 15 years have not been exactly a fun time to be Hunter Biden. Though he's had many parties in that time, they're not always resulting in fun. The one thing he has been praised for over the past 10 years has been this interview with this guy from Channel 5, Andrew Callahan. And he was praised by the left, the people that he wants to be praised by. He could be the new Joe Rogan, Megan. Look at how he's just such a plain talker. He'll say anything. I really do think that reaction has incentivized him to go even farther. And you think about the way that the internet works, clicks work, and money works, and donations work, and attention works. All those incentives point one direction. Keep saying it. Go farther. It's the Jasmine Crockett theory. The dumber and louder you are, the more attention that you get. And I think Hunter's falling into this. And when Donald Trump's on the other side of that, and his wife, who he's going to defend, and $1 billion lawsuit, I think this is a terrible mistake from a guy who's made many of them.
And it's knowable how they met. I mean, Melania Trump wrote a memoir in her self-titled book back in 2024, and she wrote as follows, that she met Trump at a September 1998 Fashion Week party at the Kit Kat Club in New York City. Quote, I saw my friend wave at someone behind me. When I turned around, I noticed a man and an attractive blonde woman approaching us. Hi, I'm Donald Trump, the man said when he reached my table. From the moment our conversation began, I was captivated by his charm and easygoing nature, she wrote, noting that their back and forth was a, quote, refreshing departure from the usual superficial small talk and made her feel like, quote, the center of his world. I found myself drawn to his magnetic energy. And then he called me a 10. No, I made up that last line. That didn't happen.
I would have totally believed that, I will say. I would have believed it.
But that's the story. It's not Epstein introduced them. It's not Epstein, whatever. So we'll see. The ball's in her court now. And it's very, very hard for a public figure to recover for defamation, which is not a crime. It's a civil tort that you would sue for. But we'll see, because public figures, if they sue for defamation, have to be subjected to a deposition themselves. She will be cross-examined by Hunter Biden's lawyers, but she may be prepared to do all of that because just to make a point that you can't lie about her with impunity, and you certainly can't bring Jeffrey Epstein anywhere close to somebody like that and not expect them to rattle your cage a bit. So what do we think the effect of the sparring between President Donald Trump and the Fed is going to be?
Okay, so that was her. Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, she's special. I was like, wow. It's weird to hear somebody like a correspondent say the F word. Like, you just used to her being on Fox and ABC and NBC, and they obviously can't toss around any profanity. When she gets her own show, she's like, hey, you say it on Sirius, gotta say it. Appreciate it, Doc Focus. Salute. Tell them to hit that like button and hit that donate button. There's Venmo right there on the screen at SKYLERIZED. Venmo. I can do Cash App and PayPal if you want me to. But anyway, Hunter Biden, crackhead, noted crackhead, admitted cokehead and crackhead. So that's not calling names. That's just saying what it is. That's a fact, a reality. So the guy had, he still has issues. I'm sure he still has withdrawal. I'll get to that. Yeah, get to that right with me. I always want to say Rock Wilder. I don't know why. Or Rock with me. rot with me. But you know, just display the bravado, you know, that white man bravado. That f that. I'm not gonna deal with that. You know, she has no position of power really. She has a high influence. She has a position of influence. Melania Trump, First Lady Trump. She has an it factor. She has a she is a factor in this world. She is one of the most, you know, photographed, most talked about people, and this just, you know, magnifies the situation in which she finds herself. Dow Focus says the irony of Biden's son addicted to drugs and they implemented the 3 strikes law. Insane. Yeah. And he said he wasn't going to pardon him. Guess what? He's a politician. Politicians lie. Water is wet. Fire burns. It's just part of the show. It's just part of the show. Life will show you balance no matter who you are. Yeah. And I think Melania is serious. She's really, because that's the thing with damages. You can say you want as much as possible. You want billions. She wants $1 billion. But you know, most people say like in small cases or other pieces of court for damages, they'll say like 20 million to 200 million, and now Melania's up to $1 billion because they know it's going to be whittled down. They know they're going to get settled out of court. Most likely, I'm not, you know, a legal scholar. I'm not a legal eagle, but I would just imagine that it's going to get settled out of court. They're not going to go to a judge. I doubt that highly. I don't see that being in the future. But so it's just funny. But I'm gonna look for another video. I was instructed by the boss man to do more videos, so I'm doing more videos. I think I ran through all of them or most of them. What do we got? I said Hunter Biden. This is not Hunter Biden. Did I already say this one? I think I might have already said this one. I don't know. Hold on.
That you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
That's not going to happen.
Hunter Biden crassly brushed off First Lady Melania Trump's threat to sue him for $1 billion if he doesn't retract what she is calling false and defamatory comments, linking her to late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The former first son made the comment with a smirk on his face during an interview on the YouTube show Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan on Thursday. Hunter Biden had appeared in an interview on the same show just 1 week prior, on August 5th, where he first made the controversial claim.
I mean, Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep.
The next day, the First Lady's team revealed that it put the scandal-scarred former first son on notice for his statements, as seen in a legal notice obtained by Fox News Digital. Failure to comply will leave Mrs. Trump with no choice but to pursue any and all legal rights and remedies available to her to recover the overwhelming financial and reputational harm that you have caused her to suffer, the First Lady's attorney, Alejandro Brito, wrote. Hunter Biden went on to defend his past comments in the newly released interview, saying the information came from claims made by Donald Trump biographer Michael Wolff, which he cited later in the initial interview.
According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the President met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
However, Melania's team seemingly foresaw such a defense, writing in the legal notice that he unjustifiably relied on Mr. Wolff's false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory statements about Mrs. Trump, and maliciously elected to republish them. Her team has also issued similar threats to other key figures. Last month, for example, the Daily Beast retracted an article that peddled similar claims after getting threatened by the First Lady's team. Brito notified Hunter Biden that he would have until August 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern to immediately issue an apology for the false, defamatory, disparaging, misleading, and inflammatory statements about Mrs. Trump, or they would file suit against him for $1 billion in damages. Despite his bravado, Biden could find himself in a lot of financial trouble if he were sued. The former first son claimed in court documents earlier this year that he is saddled with significant debt in the millions of dollars range, amid struggling art sales and expensive legal bills.
All right, I did play that one. I just wanted to play it again. But salute to Max Vision. Sam Thorazine died. I've never taken Thorazine in my life. Staring into oblivion. Mr. Terrain didn't remark on me staring into oblivion. He just wanted me to make sure I was centered in the frame. That's all he wanted, to make sure I was centered in the frame. He asked me to go on, for another few minutes. I had to eat lunch. I had a treat. So I wanted to eat lunch. I had to go, but I probably stayed on for the next 2 or 3 hours if it wasn't. I'll go on another time. I'll take the link and cam up soon. We got those on deck too. Yes. So 5 people in here. All we need is 5 people for a party. Let's keep it rocking. We got less than 15 minutes left. Officially, I try to go for an hour. I can go for an hour and a half. I can go for 3 hours, 6 hours. But I can't. I really can't do it on StreamYard. I don't think I can do too much on StreamYard. StreamYard, restricts a lot of the video. All right, so rock with me. Boom. I don't know. Boom. What is the boom? What is the boom? Boom, boom, boom. We on some Black Eyed Peas stuff? Black Eyed Peas, boom, boom, pow. So how you like me now? I think I've exhausted every video clip that's possible to be shared. I think there's no more news. Okay, what's this? Okay, let's try this.
First Lady Melania Trump is putting Hunter Biden on $1 billion notice over what she claims are false and defamatory statements made about her. Attorneys for the First Lady demanding he retract the content and issue an apology or face legal action. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joining us. So the First Lady taking action following comments Biden made during a recent interview. Share his comments, and also, has he responded to these demands?
So during a recent interview, Biden suggested Jeffrey Epstein first introduced Melania to President Trump. Comments the First Lady says are, quote, disparaging and inflammatory. She's now demanding an apology and that the video be taken down. As for whether or not Biden will apologize, he answered that question using 2 words.
That's not going to happen.
Released Thursday, Biden sat back down with YouTuber Andrew Callaghan, doubling down on these allegations he made earlier this month, linking the First Lady to Epstein.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are so wide and deep.
Melania now firing back, threatening a $1 billion defamation lawsuit if the content isn't removed. Her attorney sending Biden this letter demanding he, quote, immediately retract the false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory statements. President Trump addressing the suit on Fox News Radio Thursday morning.
Well, I said go forward. I've done pretty well on these lawsuits lately, and I said go forward with it. Jeffrey Epstein had nothing to do with Melania.
Melania's office has made similar threats to other media outlets and figures. The Daily Beast taking down an article after author Michael Wolff, who Biden also cited, alleged a modeling agent connected to Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The letter to Biden even referencing Wolff. Her attorney's writing, the source of your false statements is serial fabulist Michael Wolff, whose lies were published by the Daily Beast. Democratic strategist James Carville also taking down an episode of his podcast and apologizing after speculating there was an Epstein connection involving Melania.
We took down the video and edited out those comments from the episode. I also take back these statements and apologize.
As for whether or not Biden will apologize, he answered that question, or rather, As for where the threatened lawsuit actually stands tonight, spokesperson for the First Lady telling ABC News her attorneys are now actively ensuring retractions and apologies are made. By those who are spreading these lies. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
It's another video. And we get the idea, we get the sense. What are we doing here? We get the sense that, I'm feeling what Dot Focus saying. Barron Trump for president 2060. He's what is he, 18 right now? Somebody, I'm gonna do the math. Hold on. Look, I have to go to the calculator. I'm terrible with math. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. 18, 20, 25th, 2025 minus 18, 2060. So he'll be 53. Barron Trump will be 53 years old if he were to run for president in 2060. Trump and Elon are time travelers. Look into the book Travels of Barron Trump, written in the late 1800s, has the address of the Trump Tower in it. One of the Trump's uncles was friends with Nikola Tesla. Wow, Dot Focus, I don't know where you're getting your information, but it sounds very intriguing to me. It sounds extremely intriguing. That sounds super intriguing. In real life, okay. Let's look into that. But let me see if I can do another video. This is gonna set the tone, I think. This is gonna be a special moment.
Well, I think we should discuss that while you're there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but why did you call me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me that? On the morning that the Marine Dowd article comes out?
I didn't know about Marine Dowd.
Well, you
and
did
I guess
before
I
you
thought
started
that
talking to me,
you wouldn't
Hallie.
attack me, that you would be a bit more humble.
I did
but
not
I was
attack
wrong,
you.
and it pissed me off.
I didn't attack you.
That is correct.
You said I'm going to use against you.
No, I said to
And
you,
then
Hallie,
you said I haven't
I
been
don't want to
supportive.
give you information
notice
about
I
this
was being
program
supportive.
because
Okay.
I'm afraid that you'll use it against me as not being enough.
I can't keep talking. We're going to go round and round in
I'm
circles.
not arguing, Hallie. I'm asking you.
Okay. I don't know. I think we should schedule a visit and we'll talk with the therapist. I'm not going to continue to argue, and I don't want to talk and make things worse. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, that was Hunter Biden beaming up to Scotty, allegedly. We don't know if it was anything else, but it looked like Beambot. Yeah, he's beaming up to Scotty. Yeah. I didn't see anything. Yeah, you didn't see anything. I'm sure you didn't, Cougar. I don't know why you're caping for this white man. Oh my God. He's on some next level stuff, you know. It says in the header, Hunter Biden smoking crack, whining to dead brother's widow over rehab. That's not me. I did not write that header. I did not write that title. So don't come crying to me. Did not write that title. That's Channel 5 News. I'm glad. Woo! Channel 5 News. That wasn't a. It says, okay, there's Channel 5 News and there's Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. I have not used any of his material or his content. This is the Sun. This is the Sun. Warning, video contains graphic images. Super crazy, right? That's the Sun, though. That's the Sun. Woo! That was funny. That was real. I don't mean to say it was funny. I was just saying that was real. That was weird. He was in there beaming up to Scotty like it was nothing. He was doing the damn thing. That is your former was it First Son? I think they're called the First Son. Former First Son, Hunter Biden. The only other Hunter that did more drugs, I think, than Hunter Biden is Hunter S. Thompson, the late great Hunter S. Thompson. Salute to him. I'm looking for a few last videos, then we're gonna be out of here. Okay, people got a lot of. All right, this is gonna be the last video.
Hunter in. All right, welcome back to CBS This Morning. More now of our interview with President Biden's son, Hunter. In Hunter Biden's new memoir, he addresses his lifelong battle with addiction and his family's efforts to save him from himself.
I don't know about Hunter Tate.
Beautiful Things comes out tomorrow. It's published by Gallery Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster, which is a division of Viacom CBS. We spoke with Biden about the role he says anxiety and trauma played in pushing him to alcohol and crack.
Most people who've gone through what I've gone through are either dead or in jail.
Hunter Biden's battle with addiction began with a feeling of loneliness he says he's felt since he was a child.
It's the feeling of never fitting in. It's that hole, and you don't know what it is exactly.
Where do you think that feeling came from?
I am more convinced now that trauma is at the center of it.
Which trauma? The loss of your mother?
Yeah, I absolutely. And I don't know why I had such a hard time ever admitting that.
Hunter's mother, Nelia Biden, and his one-year-old sister, Naomi, were killed in a car crash in 1972. He and his older brother, Beau, just 2 and 3 at the time, were critically injured but survived. Their father was sworn into his first term as a senator by their hospital bedside.
I think there's a lot of research now that points to the idea that almost all addicts who suffer from addiction have a serious trauma in their lives.
Beau and I, Biden writes, never really grieved the loss of our mother or our baby sister. You didn't talk about it with your dad either.
We talked about my mom all the time with my dad, but the actual accident, no. The darkness that I know my dad suffered afterwards was not something that we necessarily talked about until much later.
Do you wish you had now?
No. And this is where I am, it's hard.
Yeah.
This is why I don't want to admit that we probably should have. I think they were trying to protect us.
The book chronicles Biden's lifelong struggles with alcohol and cocaine. At one point, he managed to stay clean for more than 7 years. But when his brother Beau died of brain cancer in 2015, Hunter began a 4-year descent into the darkest period of his addiction, what he calls a blur of complete and utter debauchery.
Drinking a quart of vodka a day by yourself in a room absolutely, completely debilitating.
That was just the beginning.
You're smoking crack around the clock. You're drinking insanely lethal amounts of alcohol.
We want Biden. We want the son, Hunter. Where's Hunter?
By 2019, he'd become a target of the Trump campaign.
10% held by Hunter for the big guy. I wonder who the big guy was. The big guy.
It didn't change my behavior in any way. I still needed to get high.
Yeah.
I still needed to hide. I still needed to fill that hole.
As his father was planning a presidential run, Biden, who'd left behind 3 daughters and a failed marriage, was living out of roadside motels, chasing his next fix. Then the family planned a dramatic intervention, disguised as an invitation to a family dinner.
Why did you agree to go? My mom said she missed me.
Yeah.
She said, Dad really needs you.
Yeah. But you were not in really any condition to go.
No. And I walk in and there are my 3 girls, my niece and nephew, my mom and dad, and 2 counselors from a rehab center I'd been to before.
Yeah.
And I looked and I said, not a chance. No way.
You exploded.
I exploded. Literally began to run up the driveway.
And your father chased you?
Yeah. And he grabbed me in a hug.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed me. He gave me a bear hug. And he said, he just cried. He said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
What did you think when you heard that?
I thought, I need to figure out a way to tell him that I'm going to do something so that I can go take another hit.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could think. I don't know of a force more powerful than my family's love, except addiction. I said I was going to go get help. Booked the next flight to Los Angeles and decided that I was going to completely disappear forever.
But before he disappeared, Biden agreed to an interview with The New Yorker.
And it's part of the thing that saved me, though. I started to tell my story.
A lot of people looked at that New Yorker article and thought, why are you doing this to your dad right now?
Yeah. And I looked at it as I was going to take away their ammunition.
Yeah.
The one thing that I thought that they would try to use against him was my drug addiction. This idea that I was a crack addict.
Yeah. You wanted to put it out there before they could use it against you.
Yeah.
And against your father.
Exactly. And no one in the campaign knew I was, because I knew they'd say no.
What happened next, Biden calls a miracle. On a blind date, he met Melissa Cohen, an aspiring filmmaker from South Africa. They had an instant connection.
And then I told her an hour later, I said, I'm a crack addict.
And she didn't run away.
She said, well, that ends now.
Did you think it was your last chance?
Yes. I knew it was my last chance.
Just 7 days later, they were married. Last year, their son Beau was born. With Melissa's help, Hunter Biden began to repair the damage. One of the deepest wounds to his family, the affair he had with his brother's widow, Hallie, just after Beau's death. A lot of people look at that and think, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Both of us had gone through the most incredibly painful loss. And it was out of love, and I thought that maybe that love would bring my brother back.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work.
In the middle of that, did you think about how your own kids would look at this?
Yeah, and it was hard. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
In the nearly 2 years he says he's been sober, Hunter Biden has tried to make amends.
The hardest amend for me to make was to my brother.
Because you couldn't make that in person?
I made a promise to him that I'd be okay.
You felt like you let him down?
Yeah.
So how do you make peace with that?
Live every day in honor of that. being of purpose and of service to other people that I know is what I need to do.
You know, as you read this book, there are moments when you get honestly infuriated because he keeps making bad decisions. And before this interview, I called a friend of mine who had been through addiction and recovery, and I said, please explain this to me because I don't understand. And he made the point that Hunter makes when he was confronted by his father in that driveway. He said, the thing you need to understand is there is nothing more powerful than addiction, not even your family's love. And he said, for you to understand what he's went through, you have to understand that. And that was the point of empathy I found for him. But as you see, he's made a lot of very, very dubious judgments over time, and you struggle to come to terms with that.
Well, his father was certainly there for him all the time. His mom, Dr. Joe Biden, his mom too. They certainly never seemed to have given up on him.
They never gave up on him. He's never doubted his parents' love. His father actually intervened before the incident that he describes there at one point in Washington and literally saved him then, too.
If it's possible to pull the politics out of it, I'm left with tremendous sympathy for a family that has been ripped and wounded by this. I mean, no matter how good a parent you are or how bad a parent you are, this can happen to your family, and we're seeing it play out in very public detail.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
So some people are questioning the timing of the book. I think right in the middle, at the beginning of the Biden administration.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Is this cathartic for him?
Well, that's what my friend told me. He said the thing you need to understand is when you say this all aloud. I mean, he alluded to it about the New Yorker article. That was that telling his story aloud and being honest with himself was very cathartic. And he said that's what this book means to him. It's part of the catharsis.
If it helps him get better, I'm sure Joe Biden's all for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a father,
he's got family support for sure.
All right, so that was an interview from 2020, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it just goes to show. Dafoe is saying I call BS. I call BS too. Like Mr. Troy Sartarian, he was addicted to cocaine. Happens. His body got sick and tired of being sick and tired. He didn't go to rehab. He didn't have to go do anything like that. Hasn't touched the stuff, you know, from what we know, for over 30 years, it looks like. 35 years, something like that. Well, you know, something like that. Close to that. 35 years, 1990, maybe 34 years, something like that. Rick James is an addict, and he's not ashamed. He's not going to rehab. He's doing PCP and all kinds of other stuff. Let it be. That's the reason why we have to have legalized drugs, so that, you know, Hunter Biden can open up a rehab center and make millions, if not billions of dollars off of other people's pain. That's the whole point, because it's like you make the money off of their pain and then the recovery. And that's what we need to have all over this land. It needs to be on every corner, and there needs to be a recovery facility for drug addicts. Because we live in a society, we're supposed to be about Jesus and hallelujah, thank you, Lord, thank God. The most people that do smoke crack and everything like that believed in God, and then they strayed and they went away from the word, and then they come back and they say, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. He saved my life. I'm no longer a crackhead. I'm no longer on methadone. I'm not doing any heroin. I'm not, you know, it's the same story over and 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 over again. And like I said, I sympathize with the people. I empathize with them, but it's like, don't start. Like, just education. Dare. It was the worst name to have for drug. It's called Drug Awareness, Resistance, and Education. But it's like, I dare you to start smoking crack. I dare you to start snorting coke. Like, I dare you. Like, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I add a little cognac in that ish. Feel me, pimp. So. Well, Ye said no more drugs for me. P and religion is all I need. PCP and nose candy. Oh my goodness. But he also likes my alcohol. Okay. Do it. Make it legalized for 17 years old and up across the country. Every state, it's a federal law. Federal law has to say legalize all drugs. Legalize every single drug possible. Every known scheduled narcotic known to man, everything across the board, and see what happens to the world. The world will be like, oh, America, oh, they got an idea over here. They're legalizing drugs. We can start legalizing drugs too. We can open up the market. People can start making money off of this stuff. That's just me. Ye is always right. I stopped heroin when I was 56. Okay. So that was what, 19 years ago? Rick James, or 20 years ago? Ye is always right. Ye taught me. Ye taught me. Yeezy taught me. Oh my God. But I hope you took in those videos. I tried to find longer ones from just a day ago. They were just really short clips of the F that clip, the F that. They really dived too deep into the whole thing. A lot of them were just clips, 1 minute, 2 minute. I found a couple 5 to 9 minute ones. Rocking power to my own key, he couldn't stop. Well, that's what happens, Rocking power to him. Salute to him. But that's the thing. What if we were in a world? What if we were in a world, where there was no focus on Jesus or anything like that? Because that's the thing. You're saying, oh, I'm a wretch. I had this personal drama. I was raped. My parents were murdered. I had trauma in my life. This little crack rock, that's going to solve all my problems for about 12 seconds and maybe up to a few minutes. Then I got to hit it again, and I'm now independent. My brain chemistry is completely altered to accommodate for this new substance that I'm using. Oh my God, what's happening? So, I mean, that's just the sad effect. And I think it really boils down to faith and mysticism. That's what it really boils down to, because they start off you with saying, Jesus is the goal, and you're like, it can't be Jesus. Jesus was perfect. Jesus was a man of perfect virtue. But he said he saved me from my wicked ways, my sin, all my problems. So I'm gonna just do all the sins and problems. I'm gonna smoke this and snort that and lick this and suck that and do all this stuff. He's gonna save me after all. I'm gonna be a pastor. I'm gonna be a preacher. I'm gonna be a businessman. I'm gonna be, that's the thing with most addicts. It's like you screw up your life completely, then you turn it all around. The ones that live through it anyway. You turn around. You're a counselor or something like that. You go to school. You become a psychologist or something like that. And they look at you like, wow, okay, yeah, he could be hired because he has the most experience with this. Yeah. And you're making $120,000 a year. It just gets me. I drastically fell back from drinking since I got out. You got out of the Air Force? Is that what you're talking about? That focus? And no more Molly. Weed, good food, active life. That's right. I'm all for it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do weed, but why would I stand in the way of somebody that wants to do PCP? Why am I going to stand in the way of somebody that wants to do crack cocaine? Do crack cocaine. Just don't, harm the rights of anybody else. Don't violate the rights of anyone else. Violate your own rights. You're depleting your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness by trying to use these substances. That's just a fact. So Hunter Biden, he's adamant, he's strong, he's staunch. F that, I'm not cow talented at broad. Forget that. She can bring up $12 billion. I don't care if it was $100 billion. and President Trump was like, hey, go for it, lady. Hey, that's my lady. Let her do her thing. Shoot, I've been pretty good with these lawsuits, suing ABC and CBS. Why not? James Carville, I think he's one of the lead proponents of the Democratic Party, or once was. He was like the brainchild for Clinton's campaign, if I'm not mistaken. He apologized. He took down the content. I've changed titles, but I've never taken down content based on somebody saying something or anything like that. I've never done that. Not yet. I haven't gone. Maybe I might do it, but I don't see myself doing that. I think that's true. Yeah. When I touch my first mil, you hitting the blunt with Pang and I on God. No, it's not gonna happen. First bill. If you make your first billion, if you wanna write I have 2 movies and a play, 9 novels, and scores of short stories and poems that I have published already, but I haven't produced. I haven't published the novels or produced any of the movies. My life is my life. This nigga. Yeah, but that's true though. Your life is your life. It's in your hands. It's what you do with it. Life is where you take it. Not only what you make it, it's where you take it. How strong you are within the positioning that you put yourself. I can write and act. That's cool. That's cool. Right with me. That's what you can do. And what's your drug of choice? Right with me. Do you have a drug of choice? Take it to the limit one last time. Take it to the limit one more. I think it's one more time. Is it one last time? One last time. I'm an actor. All my hosting, I love them. Is Rod Son of the Sun? I don't think so. Put me in the movie, fool. Start a movie company and then we'll put you in a movie. But hey, time is running long, so I hope you appreciate it. It was Friday. Like I said, the big summit in Anchorage is going down in a few hours, and we'll see what happens with that. But I just wanted to do some silly stuff. Hunter, I almost sound Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter Biden, fellow Delawarean. He was born in Wilmington, Delaware. I was born in Dover, Delaware. It's just, I won't even say he's making Delaware look bad, because that's too collectivistic. He's making himself look bad. That's what the reality is. 302, 302, 302. That's right. Were you born here in Dot Focus? Were you born in Delaware? Or you just moved to Delaware? My bag then headed to a car wash. Okay, I'm smoking right now. Oh. Hey, smoke weed every day. and Zan time to time, probably today. Okay. He's smoking right now. My bag of me. Okay. Delaware is melting pot. Christina Haas. Okay. He's from Delaware. Christina Haas. There's 2 things in Delaware that gets confusing. There's Christina and there's Christiana. I don't know why somebody put the A or took the A out. But there's Christina and there's Christiana. So they just wanted to confuse people, I think. Now let's do the Biden's Delaware walking tour. Well, I don't think there's going to be a walking tour. I highly doubt that. There's going to be no walking tour. He said, LOL politics. I know. It's just really goofy. It's just a serious but funny kind of thing. Like at least he's lucid now. He's not like hopping up and scratching and jumping around and stuff like that. He was just like, crack cocaine is just sodium bicarbonate and cocaine heated. That's all it is. You mix it with water. You wait till it gets hard. Like, he didn't get into the process. I'm getting into the process. There used to be a YouTube video that shows you how to make crack, but I don't know if it's on there anymore. We're not having a party, by the way. Rick James. Salute to you, King Hazy. We need 5 more people to have a party. Have you done crack? Son to Son is in the building. Salute to Son to Son. Have you done crack before? I've never done any illicit or narcotic or scheduled substances in my life. I plan to do them maybe when I'm in my 90s or 100s. If I make it to the 90s or 100s, I'm like, forget that. This is hazardous to your health. What health do I have left? By the time I'm 90 and 100, like nobody's gonna get, So I'm probably gonna do PCP. I'm gonna do LSD. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna just do it all at the same time, maybe, and just take myself out, get high, and and then fly, and die. You need to try it at least once, sir. I can make one. You can make a crack rock. Is that what you're saying? If you smoke weed, you will get pissed off. Oh my God. Would you hit the pipe for 1.5 million? 1.5 million what? Pesos, pounds, yen? What are you talking about? 1.5 million what? And any of those pounds, yen, whatever would be way too less. And I wouldn't do it for any of that. I wouldn't do it for any amount of money, no matter what. USA. What is USA? Are you saying United States of America? Are you saying USA? I can make a video of crack being made. There was once a video of someone making crack. They showed the steps and the materials and everything that went into making it. I don't know if it's still on the internet or not. But this was not AI generated. This is like from 15 to 16 years ago, or maybe even more. So we got 6 people in here. All we need is 4 more. I'm gonna try to get to 4 more people by the end of this video. Let's see what y'all can. This up to y'all. If each one of y'all said, "Hey, nigga, look at this nigga Sky. He got some ideas. He's talking about Hunter Biden and cocaine and crack and doing this." All y'all got to do is hit one other person, just one person, and allow them into the live. And that's all you got to do. That's all you got. That's all I'm asking you to do. I ask for money, but then I'm asking you for action. I'm asking you to just ask one person, just one person. Say, look, this nigga Sky is goofy as hell. He's silly. He's wild, but he's got some ideas. Materials. Bet it wasn't that disco ball. I don't know what you're talking about. My real ones know. Oh yeah. If you know, you know. I guess that's a if you know, you know kind of thing. Jet fuel. That sounds interesting. So, Hunter S. Biden is a crackhead, and he's known to be a crackhead. And I'm not saying that to be malicious or anything. He admits it. Cocaine, man, cocaine. That focus is wilding. But yeah. So he just can't. He seems lucid though. That's one thing I'm applauding him for. I'm being objective about. He seems lucid. He seems like he's not hitting the pipe anymore. He could still be, allegedly. I'm not sure, but he seems very lucid and clear and unafraid. His head is bloodied but unbowed. That's from the poem Invictus. His head is bloody but unbound. If you cover the trending topics in the urban community, you would be 1,000 subs by now. Maybe, but let me know about the urban community and how many videos I can show without having to resort to paying for them, or I don't even know how to get in touch, get their email. I don't know what their email is, but you cover your urban stories, and I'll watch you get 1,000 viewers. How about that? Subscribers. How about that, Son 90? I'll watch you get to those subscribers. I love how people say, "Yeah, man, if you do this, do that." And if you're not the boss is Mr. Choice Terrain. He regulates. He lets me know what I should be doing. He lets me know what I should put up. Go to Dr. Umar. Go to Dr. Umar School for Sky. You need to make a Discord though. I will look into that Discord maybe in September. I'm gonna try to revamp everything I'm doing right now. You don't have the answer, Sway. Anybody remember that? Who remembers that? You need to make a Discord though is for your community. Yeah, hey, show me I have Pang's number. Ask him for my number. I can just give you my number or something. You have my email. This is my email. Send me an email. Matter of fact, send me an email how to set up a Discord. So send me an email. Make an effing Discord. I meant to say go to the School for Star. Remember, he asked you to go. Yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying. I would probably make the trip if I drove. I don't drive. And I don't think it would be a good way of asking my dad, like, hey, can we go over to Dr. Umar Johnson's school? He'd be like, who the hell is Umar Johnson? Well, he wouldn't say hell, but who is Umar Johnson? What school? It's Umar Johnson School, alleged school, I would say, in Wilmington, Delaware. He said, "Oh, nigga, let's go. I got a whip. You come over to my house, Dot Focus. You come over to my house. Rock with me." He comes in with the smiley face. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm having a Forrest Gump moment right now. Remember when the policeman or the authority, he took out all the microphones? That's what happened to my phone and my light. So pardon me if it got a little bit darker for a moment. Okay, well, you like 7 minutes away, gang. Yeah, exactly. So you don't go anywhere by yourself. Uber, no, not yet, because I would probably be using Uber every day. I'll be wasting money. I'll be throwing up some commas. We talked about this. That's right. Me and Pang. Well, I said send me an email, and we can discuss this further. Dot Focus. We can talk about this further. Send me an email. But it's Friday. I want to talk about that dumb stuff. Hunter Biden saying F that to Melania Trump. And like I said, she is just, salute to her. Salute to Melania Trump. She's never done anything, I think, wrong in her life. Like, allegedly. Like, what has she done that is controversial? I think she had nude pictures. Who cares? Like, she had nudes, and they're very tasteful and classy. They were just nudes. They weren't like she was like sprung out like, look at my body and stuff like that. It was very tasteful. If that's even true, I don't even know if she had nudes. When you peel back the layers, Forrest Gump was a Russian Jewish spy. Oh my god. Diabolical. Someone released the Melania Trump sex tape. Well, allegedly, that you have to say that, Rick James, if I'm going to repeat that on my show. There is no sex tape that I can point to. No, they were professionally taking nude photos. She's a model. Exactly. She's a model. Like, she's a model. What do you expect from her? It wasn't even pornographic. It was just photography. Simple as that. And from a beautiful woman. Unlike the OF models you sub to. No, they were. Are you talking to me, Rob, with me? I don't subscribe to any OnlyFans models. I don't subscribe to any OnlyFans. And when I first looked at the OF, I'm like, Odd Future? And I'm like, oh yeah, OnlyFans. Beautiful is a questionable statement. Well, I think she's beautiful. I think she's a beautiful person. She's very composed. She's not, crazy, going out there. She's a great, not a substitute, but she's a great balance for Donald Trump. He's all over the place. That man is a fire. He's a dumpster fire. He's a Trumpster. He's a Trumpster fire. She is like the water that pours out the fire and just leaves it to be smoldering. No more. No more what? Scholars on the Seas, are you a fan of the work of Dylan Harper? I don't know who Dylan Harper is. Should I know who Dylan Harper is? I'm not even sure who that person is. But hey, it's been an hour and a half. I do appreciate everybody. Sky. Well, you have to prove that. You have to prove that. Prove that I'm a simp, and then I'll definitely say, "Yup, I'm a simp." But you just say blatant statements doesn't reflect reality. Sky a simp. Okay, boom, boom. There's no substance to it. She has great work. Look her up. Dylan Harper. Okay. I'm looking up Dylan Harper. Barron Trump 2060. He's adamant. I'm only getting the basketball player. Dylan Harper. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah, you send me a link, Rick James. Yeah, yeah, I got it. Send me a link, Rick James. Send me a link. Okay. I'll keep going. I will keep going. We got 7 people in here. All I need is 3 more people to have a party. I'm going to see if we can have a party up in here. Now it's back to 5 people. Obama's daughter has a crush on Barron Trump. Imagine that marriage. Oh, my God. It's on video. Play that now. I think I will listen to you. I will actually take notice because I want to see it for myself.
Malia Obama once.
Okay, I can't play any of these. They're not okay. Okay, here we go. I can play this.
Hello, everybody. I brought a friend of yours, Brett Baer. He's here. Brett, how you doing? How are you?
What will make a success of this summit today?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. It's there's nothing set in stone. I want certain things. I want to see a ceasefire. This is not to do with Europe. Europe's not telling me what to do. But they're going to be involved in the process, obviously, as will Zelensky. But I want to see a ceasefire rapidly. I don't know if it's going to be today, but I'm not going to be happy if it's not today. Everyone said it can't be today, but I'm just saying I want the killing to stop. I'm in this to stop the killing. We're not putting up any money. We're making money. They're buying our weapons, and we're sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks. But that I don't care about that. I care about it was a big factor when Biden spent $350 billion and got nothing. But what I do care about is they lost last week 7,011 people were lost, almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile. But over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
Could you describe a little bit, Mr. President, because I know you've had a lot of phone calls with President Putin. What's the difference in a face-to-face, in-person meeting?
Look, he's a smart guy, been doing it for a long time, but so have I. Been doing it for a long time. And here we are with President. That was much more difficult than what I'm doing today, believe me. So we get along. There's a good respect level on both sides. And I think, something's going to come of it. I noticed he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia. And that's good. I like that because they want to do business, but they're not doing business until we get the war settled.
Are you going to talk about business?
We have the hottest country on earth. We have the hottest economy on earth. We have the hottest country. We just set a new stock market record again. We have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing in from tariffs. We're the hottest. We were a dead country, like doornails, a dead country. 1 year ago, we were dead as a doornail, and now we have the hottest country. And he wants a piece of that because his country is not hot economically. In fact, it's the opposite. And China's not doing well economically, but look, I want everybody to do well. The war's got to stop and the killing's got to stop.
Mr. President, what do you stop? Thank you for coming back to take questions. We saw that Russia continued its violence into Ukraine last night, launching even more drones. What did you make of that?
I think they're trying to negotiate. He's trying to set a stage. I mean, in his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him. But in his mind, that helps him make a better deal if they can continue the killing. Maybe it's a part of the world. Maybe it's just his fabric, his genes, his genetics. But he thinks that makes him, gives him strength in negotiating. I think it hurts him, but I'll be talking to him about it later.
It's on the table for discussions today, Mr. President. Are the territorial swaps on the table? Will you be discussing that?
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table. And I think you have two sides. Look, Vladimir Putin wanted to take all of Ukraine. If I wasn't president, he would right now be taking all of Ukraine. But he's not going to do it.
Mr. President, what did you mean?
Just one thing. What about the possibility of the United States providing security guarantees to Ukraine?
Maybe. Along with Europe and other countries. Not in the form of NATO, because that's not going to, there are certain things that aren't going to happen. But, along with Europe, there's a possibility of that.
Mr. President, the number of business people that President Putin is bringing along, is that something that you want to discuss with President Putin at this meeting?
If we make progress, I would discuss it, because that's one of the things that they would like. They'd like to get a piece of what I built in terms of the economy. Just so you know, we were a dead country with our economy. He wouldn't be interested. He wouldn't have been interested a year ago with the Biden economy. But he is interested in the Trump economy because wait till you see when those factories start opening up. We have hundreds of factories all over the country, and that includes auto factories, AI factories, and every other. They're all coming in because they want to beat the tariffs. Because if they open here, they don't have to pay tariffs. If they don't open here, they have to pay, in some cases, 200%, 300%. I haven't even set some of the tariffs yet. I'll be setting tariffs next week and the week after on steel and on, I would say, chips. Okay. Chips and semiconductors we'll be setting sometime next week, week after.
What are you looking at? What rate?
I'm going to have a rate that is going to be lower at the beginning. Then that gives them a chance to come in and build. And very high after a certain period of time. And if they don't build here, they have to pay a very high tariff, which doesn't work, so they'll come and build.
Mr. President, hi. You had said earlier...
I didn't see you over there. Isn't he a gentleman?
He's helping me out.
He's a very nice, he's one of the few nice ones, actually.
You had said earlier this week that Putin would face severe consequences if you get the sense from him that he's not interested. What do you mean by that?
Economically severe. Yes, it will be very severe. I'm not doing this for my health, okay? I don't need it. I'd like to focus on our country, but I'm doing this to save a lot of lives. Yeah, very severe. Thank you very much, everybody.
Just wanted to say that from the chief, the commander-in-chief, the president. His wife is embroiled in, what did they say? False, inflammatory, defamatory allegations or something like that. I was like, wow. So that's all for today. I appreciate everybody that came through, and I will see you sometime on Saturday, tomorrow, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.